If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it. Happy is an interesting word. People think rah, motivational, can't be happy all the time. But what is your definition of happiness? And if you look at the opposite, so if you're not happy, what does that mean? Are you depressed? Are you miserable? Are you grumpy? Do you not like your life? If you're happy, do you love your life? Do you feel satisfied? And if you go to the brain chemistry of what happiness is, the neuroscientists, the brain doctors will suggest that serotonin, which is a satisfaction chemical inside your brain or inside your body, says that you are satisfied with your life. They don't like to use the word happy. So what makes us happy? What makes you happy? What makes you miserable, grumpy, depressed? And can you take control of that situation? And as an old lady, I'm really getting a little bit sick and tired of hearing about I'm emotional, I'm depressed, I'm unhappy, I'm miserable, I'm grumpy, I hate my life. And the reason I share that is that we have children, we have future adults who hear that and they think it's perfectly normal to be unhappy, to be miserable, to be grumpy, to be depressed. And the reason I can share that very sadly is that I invest time in schools where we now have little children on antidepressants. We have high schools where half of the children are on some kind of antidepressant mind-altering drug. And if you have a look at the correlation between teen suicide and how many teenagers are taking drugs to try and make them happy, with the biggest side effect of antidepressants being suicidal tendencies, I think we really need to take a look at that really carefully. Now, I can't control what other people do. I certainly can't control what parents do, what teachers do, what coaches do. I'm just asking this very personal question because I don't have any children, but I work with a lot of other people's children. I would like our kids to be happy. What about you? So what right do we have as an adult if we are having a challenge, if we're unhappy, if we're miserable, if we actually feel depressed? What right do we have to share that with our kids for a start? Shouldn't we be living the example of happy, healthy, fit, strong adults so that our kids can see that it's possible to do that? But if you feel unhappy, if you feel unsatisfied, why do we go to antidepressants? Why do we go to a drug? Why do we go to an intervention with a medical practitioner? The brain chemistry is designed, all of our brain chemistry is designed for us to stay alive, to thrive, and to feel fantastic so that we can reproduce. That's what biologically the human body is designed to do. So when you fight and flight, when your body's under stress and you have to get away from the threat, away from the stress. See, a lot of people get miserable and grumpy because they're stressed, but your body needs to be stressed. And when you are stressed, you're meant to fight and flight. If you're a parent, a teacher, a coach, a boss, or a leader, surely you don't have an option to flight. You have to fight. You have to fight for what you believe in. You have to fight for your health and fitness. You have to fight for your career. You have to fight to have great relationships. You have to be fight fit for life, surely. So if you are really fit and if you're really strong, you're capable of fighting and flighting. Once you have overcome a threat, you've overcome pressure or stress because you've punched, kicked, got puffed, lifted heavy, done something that's made your brain work really hard. They're all the things that fight and flight chemistry produces, epinephrine, adrenaline, cortisol. Once you've overcome the threat, your body then produces dopamine, serotonin, brain-derived neurotropic factor, fertilizer for your brain so that you feel good. So if you get puffed, if you lift heavy, if you fight, you overcome a threat, you use your brain to overcome a threat, you feel good, you have a purpose. You can't be depressed. Depression, if you look at it from a chemistry point of view, is simply my brain is under threat, I feel like I can't cope. But once you get puffed, once you lift heavy, then you have a brain that can now work effectively. You can think more clearly, you can be more creative. You can't be depressed because you've now got dopamine, serotonin, brain-derived neurotropic factor. Endorphins is the classic because that's a feel-good, happy chemistry drug that also is a painkiller. All of that taps in when you fight and flight. So if you feel unhappy, if you feel depressed, if you feel angry, if you feel emotional, all you have to do is get puffed, lift heavy, overload your body at 100% effort, and then your whole brain chemistry changes so that you can now feel good. You don't need a drug to do that. Now, there's as an adult, you get to choose. And if you go to the doctor or a medical professional and you get mind-altering drugs, the number one side effect, if you're on any kind of, or you're considering any kind of mind-altering antidepressant drug, please read the side effects. The top of the list on the side effect list, and there's some horrible side effects, but the top of the list is suicidal tendencies. I don't want to put that stuff in my body because I want to feel good all of the time, and I can do that by getting puffed and lifting heavy. Not going for a walk, not going for a plod jog, not going to the gym for an hour. High intense activity changes your brain chemistry. If you want to be the person for your children, for the people that you love, if you want to set the example and be the living, breathing, happy, anti-depression person in your life, then all you've got to do is get really fit and really strong by working at 100% effort. I hope you can hear my dogs barking. I love dogs for that reason. They're always happy. They get puffed, they run around, they love their food, they love their exercise, they love being loved, and they are the ultimate depression machine. I would like to be the person, the human being that has that same reputation. How about you? So if you want to be the person in your life that lives the example of anti-depression, get puffed, lift heavy at 100% effort, change your brain chemistry, and you can actually live your life to the max. Super duper doo, how are you? Living my life to